Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about how to solve integer word problems. Basically, it's similar to any old addition or subtraction problem, but now we're going to take into consideration the fact that we are now using negative numbers. Okay, so not just your regular natural numbers that you were used to using, but now we've got negatives as well. So integers, all integers. So generally, with a word problem like this, it's going to be helpful to consider the placement of these numbers on a number line in order to solve the problem. So let's consider, for instance, this first problem. In Buffalo, New York, the temperature was negative 14 degrees in the morning, and the temperature dropped 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So what is the temperature now? Well, let's start by drawing our number line. Okay. Now it says that the temperature started at negative 14. So really, we know that we're dealing with negative numbers. It says the temperature dropped negative 7. So knowing that it's only going to get more and more negative, we really don't need to include positive numbers on this number line. So I'm going to have my number line start over here at negative 14. Okay? And I'm going to go down from here. Okay, negative 14, negative 15, negative 16, and notice I'm being really careful to try to make my spacing as even as possible. Okay, you are going to want to do that as well because that's going to more accurately reflect the changes in numbers, which is going to help you when you go to make graphs later on. So this is negative 21, negative 22, negative 23, and we should be okay from here. So let's start at our starting point in the problem. It says the temperature is negative 14. So we'll start right here. And then we know that the temperature is dropping 7 degrees. So starting from our negative 14, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to end up at negative 21 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let's now consider another problem. Mount Everest is the highest elevation in the world at 29,028 feet above sea level, and the Dead Sea is the lowest continental elevation. By the way, that means the lowest elevation on a continent, not including oceans. And that is 1,312 feet below sea level. The difference between these two elevations is what we're looking for. So let's once again start with a number line. Now I'm not going to write every individual number between negative 1,312 and positive 29,028. We simply don't have time for that. But we will write the numbers as sort of an estimate. Okay, so remember this says below sea level, which means that 1,312 needs to be written as a negative number. Okay, and let's consider that, let's say 0 is about here then. And all the way over here is going to be 29,028. So we're looking for the difference between both of these elevations, okay? So that means we're going to try to find this entire distance here, okay? All the way from negative 1,312 to positive 29,028, which means we have to incorporate this distance here as well as this distance over here. So we know this distance up top that I've designated from 0 to 29,028 is, of course, 29,028 feet. And this distance down here is negative, well, the distance, sorry, that should be an absolute value problem because we're looking for how far away we are from 0. Doesn't have to be positive or negative. So let me go ahead and erase that really quick. And we're going to make sure that that's written as a positive number, 1,312, okay? Now, if we're looking for the total distance then we need to add 1,312 and 2,000, or 29,028. So when we go to add these, 8 plus 2 is going to give us 10, that'll be 4, that'll be 3, that's going to come out to 10, which makes that 30. So we're at 30,340 feet is the distance from the bottom of the Dead Sea all the way up to the very top of Mount Everest. All right, now we're going to consider another problem. This is a problem that asks us to consider a submarine that is situated 800 feet below sea level, and the problem says that it ascends 250 feet. Ascend means that it's increasing its height. So in other words, this submarine was located 800 feet below sea level, right? That's 800 feet deep into the ocean. And it's ascending 250 feet, which means it's coming closer to the surface, okay? It's rising by 250 feet. And we want to figure out now what is its new location. So we're going to start by setting up our number line. Remember, let's start at 0, okay? Because we know we're not going to go above the water. So we're now at 0, and that is considered sea level. That basically means the surface of the ocean, okay? The surface of the ocean is considered to be sea level, which we would call 0 altitude. Now, let's count 800 feet deep. And we're going to count by 50s here. Oh, sorry. So that'll be negative 100. This will be negative 150, negative 200. Negative 250. Now I want you to notice, because this is very important, once again, I have tried to be very precise in my increments, tried to make everything spaced out as evenly as I possibly could. And you are going to need to do that as well, because that will once again help you to reflect the true distance between these numbers carefully. All right, and we're now at negative 700, negative 750, and negative 800. If this number line keeps going, we'll just keep on counting by 50s. Negative 1,000 feet, negative 1,050, and this is negative 1,100. All right, so back to plotting our point. We were at negative 800 feet, which is right here, okay? And this 250 is going to help us to count. Remember, we are ascending, and ascending means we are rising. We're going to go up. So going up 50, 100, 150, 200, 200 feet, that's going to put us at negative 550 feet, okay, or that's 550 feet below, below sea level. All right, and our last problem tonight is going to be kind of a multi-step problem, but still fairly simple. So we're considering a problem where Daniel owes his friend $10 from lunch. He gets $58 for Christmas and then spends $26 on video games. He then spends part of his snow day shoveling snow for his neighbors, and he earns $30 doing that. So we want to figure out now how much money does he have. So he started at negative $10. Okay, he owed $10 to his friend. Let's say if we count by tens, here this can be 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. So that will make it a little bit easier, and we can sort of estimate because we will already have a pretty good idea of what we're doing. So if we're starting at this -10, right, and we're going to increase $58, okay? So we're going to go up 1, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then we're going to go up 8, and so that will be at 48, okay? So after he's paid his friend back, he has $48, okay? Now, he's going to spend $26 on video games, okay? So from here, let's envision ourselves going down $10. So now we're at $38. And down another $10 would put us at 28. And then we're going to go down $6 to end up at $22, okay? In other words, 48, we've subtracted 26, and we've landed at $22. All right, now that we're at $22, we're going to earn another $30. So we're going to go from here, we're going to go up to 32, up to 42, and then up to 52. That's an increase of $30. And now Daniel has $52. Okay, so this is where we're ending up, is $52. All right. All right, so now that you have seen a few different examples of word problems that you can have with integers, I want you guys to now go back to the sheet on the back of this notes sheet that you've completed and try a few problems on your own. Remember to re-watch this video and pause it as you need to.